So, Lil Kage, how are you, man?
By the way, it's Kage.
Kage.
Kage. So, Kage is from Naruto. Well, yeah, I guess somewhat. It means shadow in Japanese, but it comes from, I got it from Naruto as Hokage, which means the Fire Lord, Shadow Lord. And I just took Kage, which means shadow. Yeah.
Alright, man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just been drinking all weekend, right? Sunday today, so I'm drinking a bit more. Why not, you know?
I mean, you know, getting the vibes ready, having fun either way, like, it's dope. Alright, let's get it started. So, where did you grow up, and was your city, hometown, or like neighborhood like a big place for music in terms of being in industry city?
I grew up, I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I grew up at Smyre Park. That's where Lil Uzi's from. It's crazy because we're both the same age, and we grew up in the same block. But I left Philadelphia when I was 10, 11, and then I came to Toronto at that age, and then I just grew up down here, you know. Grew up rough, but better than Philadelphia, definitely.
Too. I know, like Philly, like they have like a lot of amazing musicians, you know, with Meek, with Uzi, State Property, and like I think nowadays too they have like what PNB Rock, Simex Santana, all these other people too.
With PNB a lot.
True. So like living in Toronto, like when you moved in, like how was the experience like so far?
Honestly, Toronto, what I like about Toronto is that there's a lot of cultures down here. You know what I'm saying? So you get a little bit of everything, you know? Like you get a piece of like all parts of the world down here, you know. We have Somalians, we have Latins, we have Jamaicans, you know, and Jamaicans really influenced the music in our city, you know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, with the lingo we have, so it's a good thing, you know. And I'm actually happy that I grew up in Toronto because, you know, they have a lot of culture down here, but I feel like not the Latin cultures, and we don't have like a spotlight down here. And I'm trying to do that now because I just started doing my Latin music, embracing my Latin side, you know.
True. And what part of like Latin America are you from? Like
Honduras.
Nice. Yeah, so it's kind of like on the rise too with Honduras and everything like that too. So yeah.
Honduras is crazy right now too. Honduras is like type shit. Like you can't even like leave your house after 8 o'clock. Shit gets crazy, you know. Yeah.
So what was your musical background and history, and what made you decide on wanting to become like a rapper or like a musician, you know?
Honestly, I remember being in grade 5 and they were asking everybody, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was hearing like firefighter, doctor, astronaut, just the basic children's shit, you know what I'm saying? But when they asked me, I literally said DJ. And no one in my family was a DJ. But out of nowhere, I said that. I don't know why. I forgot, it was an old school DJ. I don't know who I was taking in at that time. I was just looking at a bunch of like old school, like, I think it was like old school rap videos, and I see DJs scratching and shit. So I'm like, I would really want to do that, you know? So then when I was like 13, 14, I started like my boys, 13, I started my boy's basement DJing at a controller. On a controller was a tractor, and I learned how to DJ because I couldn't afford one, you know what I'm saying? My mom didn't buy me one at that time, and then by 14, the year after, I started DJing at a club. It was called Government in Toronto, and I started with EDM, and then from there it just progressed. I still DJ now, but like I just switched more to like, you know, my voice. I produce, I engineer, I do everything. I edit videos, do videography, cover art, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
What you mean? And I mean, like even with that background too, were you like influenced by like certain like genres or artists like right now, and like in the future, who do you like want to work with? Like I know with the EDM and with the rapping and with the Latin rap, there should be like many influences.
Yeah, so I was actually influenced a lot by rock when I was younger. I grew up listening to like Green Day and Kiss. Green Day and Kiss are my favorite actually. And also like listen to like Slipknot and stuff, you know. But then at the same time, because I was around my cousins, they listen to hip hop, so I listen to a lot of old school hip hop. And now I'm really I started doing stuff a year and a half ago with my own vocals because I was influenced by XXX Tentacion. And I got like, after he passed away, I got it like tatted, like he had a numb on his face, and I got it tatted because like he really influenced me, you know. And in the future, I want to work with Trippie Redd. He also inspired like my artistry now, you know. And who else? Lil Wayne, obviously.
I think everyone wants to work with Wayne and like Trippie Redd too. I mean, you see like a lot of like Toronto acts on the rise that want to work with him. Like I know like Presses like also doing a song with Trippie Redd one day. So like, they were like linked up in the studio at one point. So
I actually was talking to Trippie Redd at some point. I was talking to his boy Chris King, and Trippie Redd was on FaceTime with Chris King, and we were talking about working on a track. And Trippie Redd is an expensive feature. I'd say he's like, maybe I'm tripping or not, like 50K at least. But he's like, yo, I fuck with you a lot. And this is when I first started music. This is like me like 4 months in, and I flew out to LA because Warner Brothers flew me there to do a music video. And I was on the FaceTime with Chris King, and Trippie Redd's like, yo, honestly, you know, I'm here to make my bread, but I also want to fuck with you. He's like, if you can get 8K American, I'm gonna do this track, blah blah with you. And I'm like, fuck, I don't even have that right now. You know what I'm saying? At that point, at that time, and yeah, it was like a minor setback, but maybe one day, you know what I'm saying? I'll definitely do it.
And you know what? When I was like listening to your music, like for the first time with some of the tracks with J-Mag and like with some other tracks on your own too, like it consisted with like a lot of like SoundCloud rap and more like alternative like trap music. So usually with that genre, like what's your like creative process when making that music, and what would a day in the studio be like for you by any chance?
Alright, so first of all, the music that I have out right now, like for example, Black Boom, Check the Time, you know, it's just music that's like was in at the time when I made it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not what I like. If you ask me which song I like that I have released, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Maybe my Spanish record, Quiero, Saber, with El Tico from Cuba. He's a very famous artist down there. But I have a lot of music that I really enjoy, and it's like more of like a singing stuff, you know what I'm saying? But these days it's really hard to pop off something that's like, I guess, emotional, because you know how it is, right? You gotta like say nigga this, you're gonna shoot this in order to actually get a buzz. So my thing, I'm gonna do what X did, like when he came out with Look At Me. It was obviously a banger. It's like a SoundCloud type track, right? I wanna like pop off a banger and then be like, damn, this is a banger. But then I'd release my real shit and people would be like, damn, I didn't know he was like that too. Because I'm very versatile. I can do anything, any type of music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like when I was like listening to Quiero Saber, recently, you transitioned like from singing and rapping in Spanish, and the video shows you performing, I think in Havana, Cuba, or like some other place.
I was in Veradero.
Oh, Veradero.
Havana and Veradero.
Oh, true. So tell me about like the track in general, and what was I think you told me before last year that you were like in Mexico. I don't know if it's like for performing or for other stuff.
Yeah, so I went to Colombia, Mexico, and Cuba for it's like a mini tour type thing. But my biggest show was in Cuba, and they have this genre called Cubaton. Cubaton is basically Cuban reggaeton, but it has a different beat structure than normal reggaeton. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. You know, if you really want to look at it, then you'd realize. But yeah, so I linked up with an artist called El Tico, but I met him through this guy named Franny El Fenomeno. Yeah, El Tico's like one of the biggest artists in Cuba. He did tracks with Chacal, El Chulo, El Camel. These are one of the biggest names in that genre. And you know, I guess he fucked with me and he's like, yo, let's do this track. We did the track and I'm like, I'm coming to Cuba next week, let's do a video. I bring my videographer, we go do the video. We have a show at the same time with one of the most famous DJs down there. His name is Adriano DJ. and we did a show, did a music video quick, released that shit, and me and El Tico have another track coming as well. He's a very amazing artist.
And like for the fan base so far, like in Cuba, Colombia, and Mexico, I guess they really like rocked you hard, like in a way.
Yeah, for sure. And my Latin shit, like when I first released Quiero Saber, because I was never gonna I never had like Spanish music in my head. I'm like, I love it, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But then, like I released Quiero Saber and I got so much love from that. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And people actually fuck with it. So I made more Latin music. I have another track called Flauta. My next track is gonna be a Hispanic track, Latin reggaeton record. It's gonna be a banger.
Dope, man. And I mean, like when you had like a lot of like other music too, like with the SoundCloud rap, you talk a lot about like you talk more about like heartbreak on those tracks. So would you have like some real life experiences when dealing with relationships and like with women, like in terms of like these issues? And do you feel about like the strong topics about the women like match up to what your music conveys in a way?
For the experience part, yeah, I had, I guess, like one real heartbreak, because before this girl, I actually thought I fell in love before, until I actually met this girl that I dated for like almost 3 years. And I'm like, damn, this is what love is, you know what I'm saying? But then, back in my mind, I always knew nothing is forever. So I always expected her. I guess that was the flaw of the relationship, because I always expected her to leave. And which I was right, and I don't know, I just like I was always let down by people, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm never somebody to like depend on anyone, and when it comes to the conversation of like happiness, like being with somebody and being happy, I don't believe in happiness, I really a lot to X with this conversation, because he says I don't believe in happiness, I just believe in moments of joy, you know what I'm saying? Because happiness isn't permanent, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is sad some days and happy some days, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, it really influences my music. Like I always catch myself like making like heartbreak music, because like I guess it feels right, and like I want to make music that connects with people, and they'd be like, damn, like if I see the certain words, a certain line, it'd be like, yo, that just happened to me, you know what I'm saying? Like I relate so much to this, like I want that, I can make some lit tracks, but like I want to relate as well,
True. And I know like previously, like in your music career, like you were like in Sauce Gang, which is like kind of like a little collective that you and Diego Gomes had. So, and working with Diego Gomes, like one of like the free winners of like YTV's The Next Star, and also like a close collaborator and friend of yours. How was it like working with him, and how did you manage to get to know him and like work with him in a way?
Yeah, we had a thing when we were younger. Like I said, I was DJing when I was younger, so we used my DJing thing as like a little platform, because like we'd make a banger. Well, I wasn't really singing at that time, but like my friends that were artists would make a banger, and I'll play it at the club. You know what I'm saying? Diego would make a sick track, and I'll play it at the club. It was exposure for us. I used that to my advantage. I performed with Lil Uzi, Future. OT Genesis. I also performed with Rammer, those Toronto artists. But I was more on the EDM side, so I was with like Quintino, Will Sparks, DJ Carnage, Steve Aoki, Afrojack. I performed with all these people within my DJing career, and we used that as our little platform, you know what I'm saying? Just putting our stuff out there. And Diego was also like a big influence towards my music, because he was an artist who was actually famous, you know what I'm saying, at some point when he was younger. And that also inspired me, because anything's possible, you know what I'm saying. And we met, I met him when he was like 14. Like I think he was 14, and I took him to his first club, because I was DJing at that time. And we had a good time at the club, and we clicked since that first time we met. We met through a mutual friend. And yeah, it's crazy. Like now, it's like 10 years later, we're still friends, and we still click on the same page, and we have the same mindset. And he has like a company now called New Wave Visual, and I'm also editing music videos with him. He goes on a shoot, I edit some, you know what I'm saying. and we got our the drone guy Isaac. He's over here. You know, he has his company Sigma Flights. Is it Sigma Flights?
Sigma Flight Solutions.
Flight Solutions, and you already know this drone guy over here. This guy will do some sick ass trick shots and shit. You know, but yeah, me and Diego have lots of music together, but right now it's about money. You know what I'm saying, for us. So like, we love music. It's just right now we need to make money to invest into the music, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think, you know, when we speak about money, like, we're still dealing with the situation right now. I don't know if I could say this on YouTube because of the controversy, but the pandemic. So, like, since the pandemic happened, do you feel like it has affected the way you tend to proceed with your business? And since then, what were some changes or tweaks that you had to do to handle, like, business in a pandemic?
Musically wise, right?
Yeah.
Or you just mean like business in general?
Like, either way, like, music or business.
I guess musical business for like artists that are actually really doing it. This pandemic has affected them a lot because they haven't been able to do shows, right? And I guess right now for them, it's either like these virtual concerts, if people would actually pay for that, or merch, or their actual music, you know, streaming wise, you know. Hopefully this pandemic is almost done, because obviously, like, we missed out on a lot of events, you know, that we could have had, and you know, history.
And I mean, in terms of like other musicians or like rappers in the industry, do you feel like it has affected the way they handle their business as well? I think like you might already like answer the same question, but do you feel like other artists, like, do you think they act towards like differently now
During this pandemic?
Yeah.
I guess they're just trying to find a way to still have that clout. You know what I'm saying? I guess doing stupid shit. I don't know. Artists these days are just like not real. They're not genuine to themselves. So I just feel like everybody's fake now. You know, that's why like I have like 3 or 4 friends now. I used to have so many, but I realized that you don't really need that much.
What you mean? And you know, like lately too, I've seen like with certain people too, they go like on a different phase now with Travis Scott, like, still like making money, like right now with the Travis Scott burger, like in the US right now, and then I think with Annalie Chapa with the whole like spirituality type stuff, and with these versus battles going on, like, do you feel like it's something that you might see like later, like right now, like just to phase out like events and stuff, or do you think it might be like a fad in a way?
Well, that Travis Scott thing, I love Travis Scott. He's one of my favorite artists, actually. He inspires me. Trippie Redd, Travis Scott, and X, big inspirations for me. Well, that burger thing was some huge fucking bullshit, to be honest, because I'd get it if they had like a Travis Scott toy with the combo that they have in the States, but it's literally just a burger and fries and a drink. Travis Scott burger, like they added ketchup or something, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So it's like, I'm like, what, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand if it's like a special packaging or a toy, but like, fuck, you know. But yeah, I think these days artists are just trying to be more spiritual, and when people are more spiritual on camera, people automatically think that it's like demonic, you know what I'm saying? Just because somebody's more spiritual, talking about laws of attraction, for example, it'd be like, oh, this guy is some devil shit, you know what I'm saying? Because actually, I'm really into laws of attraction, you know, and I talk about it, and people just assume like, oh, you're so demonic, blah blah, low key, you know, all this shit. So I don't know, it is what it is. People try to change people too much, you know. I just like people for how they are, you know.
So, like, I think just to end off the next couple questions, with Toronto right now, it's winning and it's losing at the same time. I mean, with the deaths of like Houdini, Bully, one of the members of the Tall Up Twins, and with other wins with Drake and everyone else too. But as you said earlier, about the Toronto scene with its Latin market, how do you feel about the Toronto music scene like at the moment right now? And do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of where the Toronto music scene should go to?
The Toronto scene, man, shit. We did take losses because we did have some big names in the streets down here. I don't know. I just feel like Toronto, like we're like back back 4 years in musically wise, because in the States, like for example Atlanta, Florida too, they support each other, you know what I'm saying? We don't support each other down here. We always like try to rep our block. It's cool to rep your block. You grew up there. That's where you came from. I grew up in the hood too, you know. I know how it is. But like, I feel like we need to be more humble and like actually bring each other up. If artists in Toronto that are actually really in like the gang shit, they should at least try and put Toronto on. You're from Toronto, you know what I'm saying? You're from a certain block, but you're from Toronto, and these other artists that are from Toronto are from Toronto as well, you know what I'm saying? And we should all just like come together and make these bangers and go up together. All these artists can be like in like the American status level, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, NLE Choppa, you know, there's like Lil Tecca, there's Lil Mosey, all these people that make simple ass music, but they're popping. We can be like the new US, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But like, I guess we just need to figure it out.
True. Yeah. So I think just to end it off, what are your like plans for the rest of the year in terms of music and such? And are there like any other final words you would like to say for any creative or any person like pursuing their dreams?
Well, my new plans right now is I got a new song called Flauta. It's a Spanish record, but I also do English on it, just like Quiero, Saber. And this is gonna be like a banger. I'm supposed to release it this month or the beginning of next month. I'm also editing that video, and with this pandemic going on, you know, I can't do much. I'm trying to leave the country because I travel a lot, but trying to leave the country so I can go work with Lil Tracy. That's my thing right now.
I mean, hopefully by like 2021 or 2022 that could happen, you know?
Yeah, like I was in talks with Lil Tracy. You know, we're supposed to do a track, and hopefully I'm also doing a track with Trippie Redd's boy. Actually, it's on the way. His name is Antonia. He used to go by Forever Anti-Pop, and he was on the track Dead Man's Wonderland with Trippie Redd, and he's a really amazing artist actually. So I got that coming too.
All right, so Lil Kage, thank you for having with us, and until next time.
Yeah, for sure.